The spotlight burned hot against Ariana Vale's skin, but she'd learned to work through discomfort. She stood center stage at the Metropolitan Fashion Showcase, her heart hammering as she gestured toward the midnight blue gown displayed behind her. 2 years of sleepless nights and borrowed money made fabric. "This collection represents resilience," she said into the microphone. "The strength to rebuild when everything falls apart." Then she saw him. Damon Cade sat in the back row like a king surveying peasants, his dark suit immaculate, his gray eyes fixed on her with an intensity that made her breath catch. 3 years. 3 years since that night. 3 years since she'd woken alone to a note that said this was a mistake and destroyed her. He wasn't supposed to be here. He couldn't be here. Their eyes locked across the crowded room, and Ariana forgot her next line, forgot how to breathe. The microphone slipped in her sweating palm. Before she could recover, Damon stood. He moved through the crowd with predatory grace, people instinctively parting for him. He walked straight toward the stage, and panic clawed up Ariana's throat. "Excuse me," his voice cut through the murmurs. "I need Miss Vale privately now." The moderator sputtered protests, but Damon Cade didn't wait for permission. He stepped onto the stage, his presence so commanding that cameras flashed like lightning. This was her moment, her one chance to secure her future, and he was destroying it. "Mr. Cade, we're in the middle of—" "I'm aware." His eyes never left Ariana's face. "This won't take long." Ariana wanted to refuse, to scream at him to leave. But she saw something dangerous in his expression, and if he made a scene here, in front of the fashion houses that held her future in their hands. "Of course," her voice barely worked. "One moment." She followed him off stage, her legs shaking. He led her to an empty corridor behind the hall, and the moment they were alone, he turned on her with such sudden force that she stumbled backward. "Pretend to be my girlfriend," he said coldly, "or your entire career disappears tonight." Ariana's mind went blank. "What?" "Your designs are funded by Mercer Industries. I acquired Mercer yesterday." His voice was clinical, detached. "Which means I now own your funding, your contracts, your future. So here's the deal. Pretend to be my girlfriend for 3 months. Attend events. Smile for cameras. Play the role. In exchange, I triple your funding. And if I refuse, I pull your funding immediately, shelf your collection, and ensure every fashion house in this building knows Ariana Vale is unreliable." His smile was razor-sharp. "Your presentation slot, already given away. Those representatives you needed to impress, already leaving. You have 30 seconds to decide." Ariana's world tilted. She thought of Liam at home with her neighbor Mina, her 2-year-old son with his father's gray eyes and stubborn chin. The son Damon didn't know existed, the eviction notice hidden in her desk, the bills drowning her. "Why me?" she whispered. "Because you're talented enough to be believable but unknown enough that no one will investigate too deeply. Because you're desperate." He checked his watch. 20 seconds. "This is blackmail." 15. "You can't just—" 10. Ariana closed her eyes and saw Liam's face. Saw 3 more months of hiding her son from his father. 3 months of pretending to love the man who'd called her a mistake. "Fine," the word tasted like poison. "I'll do it." Damon's expression didn't change. "Excellent. My driver picks you up tomorrow at 6. Plaza Gala, don't be late." He turned to leave, then paused. "And Ariana, this is business. Don't confuse it for anything else." As if she could forget. When she returned to the showcase, her moment was over. The representatives had left, but Damon's assistant waited with a contract. Ariana signed without reading, her hands numb. That night she stood in Liam's doorway watching him sleep, his dark curls spread across the pillow. He looked so much like Damon it physically hurt. "I'm sorry," she whispered. 3 months. I can hide you for 3 more months." She had to, because if Damon discovered Liam, he'd take her son away. Men like Damon Cade took what they wanted, and they always won. The emerald dress arrived at 5 the next evening, designer expensive, with a note that read simply, "Wear this. D." Mina appeared in the doorway, Liam on her hip. "That's some work dress." "It's complicated," Ariana said, avoiding her neighbor's knowing look. "Complicated like the man who left you pregnant and alone," Mina's voice softened. "Ari, please tell me you're not." "I'm handling it." Ariana took Liam, breathing in his baby shampoo scent. "I'm protecting us. By getting involved with him again. By surviving." She kissed Liam's forehead. "Can you watch him tonight? I'll be back by 11. Mina's disapproval was clear, but she nodded. "Be careful. Men like that don't play fair." Ariana already knew that. Damon's driver arrived at exactly 6. The car was sleek, black, worth more than her apartment building. Ariana slid into the leather interior, the dress whispering against her skin, and tried not to think about how her life had become a nightmare dressed as a fairy tale. They pulled up to the plaza, and Damon was waiting at the entrance. He looked devastating in a black tuxedo, his dark hair perfectly styled, his gray eyes scanning her with clinical assessment. "You'll do," he said, offering his arm. "Not you look beautiful, not even hello, just cold evaluation." Ariana took his arm, and the contact sent electricity through her. Muscle memory from that night 3 years ago when his touch had meant something. When she'd believed his whispered words about fate and connection and finding each other. Before she'd learned it was all lies. Inside, the gala glittered with Manhattan's elite. Champagne flowed. Diamonds sparkled. Everyone who mattered was here, and they all turned to stare as Damon Cade entered with an unknown woman on his arm. "Smile," he murmured against her ear, his breath warm. "You're supposed to be smitten with me. I'm supposed to be convincing, not delusional." His hand tightened on her waist, warning or amusement she couldn't tell. "Careful, Ariana. You need me more than I need you." They circulated through the crowd, Damon introducing her as "my girlfriend," the designer with such casual possession that people believed it instantly. Why wouldn't they? Damon Cade didn't need to lie. He could have anyone. "How did you meet?" a woman in ruby earrings asked, her eyes sharp with curiosity. "At a charity event," Damon said smoothly. 3 years ago, we lost touch, reconnected recently." 3 years ago, the night that had created Liam, Ariana's stomach twisted. "How romantic," ruby earrings cooed. "Love finding its way back." "Something like that," Damon agreed, his hand sliding lower on Ariana's back. She wanted to pull away, wanted to tell these people the truth, that Damon Cade used people and discarded them, that his touch meant nothing, that this was all theater. But she smiled instead, laughed at his jokes, played the smitten girlfriend while dying inside. Hours later, on a terrace overlooking the city, Damon finally let her go. Ariana sagged against the railing, exhausted from pretending. "You did well," Damon said, lighting a cigarette. "Very convincing." "I'm a good liar, unlike you, who's honest about being heartless." "Are you?" Something flickered in his eyes. "I wonder." Before she could respond, her phone buzzed. A text from Mina. "Liam has a fever, not serious but fussy. When are you back?" Ariana's blood ran cold. "I need to leave." "We haven't finished." "I don't care." She was already moving toward the exit. "I have an emergency." Damon caught her arm, his grip firm. "What emergency?" "None of your business." "Everything about you is my business now." His eyes narrowed. "Who's Mina?" Ariana's heart stopped. How did he? "You mentioned that name earlier, on the phone." Damon stepped closer, his presence overwhelming. "Who is she?" "My neighbor. She's watching my—" Ariana caught herself just in time. "My cat." "Your cat?" His voice dripped disbelief. "Yes, he's sick. I need to go." Damon studied her for a long moment, and Ariana saw the exact second he decided not to believe her. Saw calculation enter his eyes. "Fine, my driver will take you home." "I'll get a cab." My driver, it wasn't a suggestion. The ride home felt eternal. Ariana clutched her phone, anxiety eating her alive. Damon knew something was wrong. He'd start digging. And when he found out about Liam, she couldn't think about that, not yet. Mina met her at the door with Liam in her arms. His cheeks were flushed, his gray eyes Damon's eyes, glassy with fever. "Mama," he whimpered, reaching for her. Ariana took him, and her world narrowed to this. Her son's hot forehead against her neck, his small hands gripping her dress. "Just a cold," Mina assured her, "but he wouldn't settle without you." "Thank you for watching him." Ariana swayed gently, rocking Liam. "I'm sorry I was gone so long." "Was it worth it, whatever you're doing with that man?" Ariana looked at her son, at the life she'd built for them, fragile as spun glass, at the 3 months stretching ahead like a minefield. "It has to be," she whispered. The next morning a package arrived. Inside was a new phone with a note, "For our arrangement, keep it on you at all times. D." And a second note, smaller, "Who's the cat really for, Ariana?" He knew she'd lied. He was watching her now. The game had begun, and Ariana was already losing. The fake relationship became a carefully choreographed nightmare. 3 days later, Damon texted, "Dinner tonight, Cipriani, 8 p.m., wear red." Ariana stared at the message, then at Liam playing with blocks on her living room floor. How was she supposed to maintain this double life? Doting girlfriend by night, secret mother every other moment. "Mina can't babysit tonight," her neighbor had said that morning. Her sister in town. Which meant Ariana needed a backup plan. She scrolled through her contacts, sparse and mostly professional. No family, no close friends. She isolated herself after Liam's birth, too afraid Damon's world would somehow discover them. Finally, she called a babysitting service. They sent someone named Rachel, a college student with good references. Ariana hated leaving Liam with a stranger, but what choice did she have? "I'll be back by 10, she promised, kissing Liam's forehead. "Be good for Rachel, okay?" "Mama, stay." His gray eyes, always those devastating gray eyes, filled with tears. "Mama has to work, baby." Each word tasted like betrayal. "But I'll be home soon, I promise." She left before she could break her own heart further. At Cipriani, Damon waited at a corner table, his presence drawing every eye in the restaurant. He stood when she arrived, his gaze traveling over her red dress with an expression she couldn't read. "Punctual," he noted. "I appreciate that." "You didn't give me much choice." Ariana sat, hyper-aware of the other diners watching them. "What's this about?" "Can I take my girlfriend to dinner?" "Your fake girlfriend. And no, you're too calculating for social dates." Something that might have been amusement crossed his face. "Smart and beautiful, I chose well." "You blackmailed me. That's not choosing, it's coercing." "Semantics." Damon poured her wine, expensive, red, probably worth more than her monthly rent. "There's a business function Friday. Tech summit in the Hamptons. We'll stay overnight." Ariana's wineglass froze halfway to her lips. "Overnight." "Separate rooms, obviously, but we need to be seen together outside the city. Build credibility." His tone was business casual, like he was discussing stock options instead of upending her life. "My assistant will handle your travel arrangements." "I can't just leave for a weekend." "Why not? What's stopping you?" Damon's eyes sharpened. "The cat." "I have responsibilities, a life outside of this arrangement. And I have a billion-dollar merger that requires stability and maturity, which means you come to the Hamptons." He cut into his steak with precise movements. "Unless you'd prefer I pull your funding." There it was, the constant threat, the leash he kept her on. "Fine," Ariana bit out. "I'll go." "Excellent." Damon's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Now tell me about yourself. We should know basic details in case anyone asks." "What do you want to know?" "Family. Parents died in a car accident when I was 19. No siblings. true and painful to say aloud. Education. Parsons School of Design, graduated 3 years ago, right before she'd met him, before everything had fallen apart. Relationships before me. Ariana's throat tightened. None that matter. Really? A woman like you know past relationships? Skepticism colored his voice. A woman like me, she leaned forward. What's that supposed to mean? Beautiful, talented, young. His gaze was clinical, dissecting. You must have had offers. Maybe I was waiting for someone worth my time. And you think I'm worth it? The question held an edge. I think you're blackmailing me, so worth doesn't factor in. Damon's jaw tightened, the first crack in his icy control. I'm protecting my interests. There's a difference. Right, how noble of you. They finished dinner in tense silence. Outside, Damon's driver waited. But before Ariana could escape into the car, Damon caught her wrist. You're hiding something, he said quietly. I don't know what yet, but I will find out. There's nothing to find. The lie came easily now, necessary armor. Everyone has secrets, Ariana. His thumb brushed the inside of her wrist, finding her racing pulse. I'm very good at uncovering them. She pulled away, her skin burning where he'd touched her. Then you'll be disappointed. I'm exactly what I seem, a struggling designer you're exploiting. We'll see. That night, Ariana came home to find Liam asleep and Rachel reading on the couch. Everything seemed fine, normal. But the next morning, Liam asked, "Where Mama go?" "Just work, baby." Mama always gone. His little face crumpled. Liam miss Mama. Guilt crushed her chest. I know, sweetheart, I'm sorry, but Mama's working hard to take care of us. Don't want Mama work, want Mama stay. She held him while he cried, her own tears falling into his dark curls. This was supposed to be temporary. 3 months. But 3 months felt like forever when every absence hurt her son. What was she doing? Sacrificing time with Liam to play dress-up for a man who'd already proven he didn't care about her. But the alternative, losing everything, being unable to provide for Liam, was worse. Friday arrived too quickly. Damon's assistant sent detailed instructions. Helicopter departure at 4 p.m., cocktail event that evening, summit panel Saturday, return Sunday afternoon. Ariana arranged for Rachel to stay the entire weekend, paying extra she couldn't afford. She packed Liam's favorite foods, his blanket, specific instructions for his routines. Mama be back Sunday, she promised, holding him tight. 2 sleeps, that's all. 2, he held up fingers uncertainly. That's right, can you be brave for 2 sleeps? Liam's lower lip trembled, but he nodded. Brave. She left him crying, and the sound followed her all the way to the helipad. Damon was already there, looking unfairly good in casual slacks and a navy sweater. His eyes swept over her weekend bag. That's all you brought? I travel light. My assistant could have arranged. I don't need your assistant's help. She climbed into the helicopter, determined to maintain some independence. The flight was smooth, expensive, surreal. Ariana stared out at Manhattan shrinking below them and wondered how her life had become this. Helicopter rides with a man who barely tolerated her, while her son cried for her at home. The Hamptons estate was obscene. Sprawling beachfront property, manicured lawns, a main house that could fit 50 of her apartments. Other guests were arriving, tech moguls, venture capitalists, the kind of wealth that made Damon look almost modest. Remember, Damon murmured as they approached the entrance, you adore me. Hang on my every word. We're deeply in love. Nauseatingly so, Ariana agreed flatly. His hand slid around her waist, pulling her close. Smile, darling, you're selling a fantasy. The cocktail party was exhausting. Ariana played her role, laughed at Damon's jokes, touched his arm, gazed at him adoringly. Every moment felt like drowning. These people discussed millions like pocket change, bought companies for sport, lived in a stratosphere she'd never reach. "You're very quiet," observed a woman with diamond earrings worth more than Ariana's life. "Cat got your tongue." Ariana's phone buzzed in her clutch. She excused herself to check a text from Rachel. "Liam won't stop asking for you. Should I let him call?" Her heart clenched. 5 minutes. I'll find somewhere private. She slipped away to an empty library, closing the door. Rachel answered on the first ring. Then Liam's voice filled the line. "Mama." "Hi, baby, I'm here." "Miss you," his voice wobbled. "Come home." "Soon, sweetheart. One more sleep, then Mama comes home." She fought tears. "Are you being good for Rachel?" "Good, but miss you." "I miss you too, baby, so much. The door opened. Damon stood there, his expression unreadable. Ariana's blood turned to ice. "I have to go," she said quickly. "Love you, bye." She hung up before Liam could respond, before Damon could hear more. "Who was that?" His voice was soft, dangerous. "My neighbor, checking on the cat." "The cat that you just said, love you too." People do that with pets." "Do they?" Damon closed the door behind him, leaning against it. "You're lying again, Ariana. I can always tell." "I'm not." "Who is Liam?" The name hit like a physical blow. Ariana's vision blurred. "What?" "Liam, you said his name when you answered the phone, before you knew I was there." Damon pushed off the door, stalking toward her. "So I'll ask again, who is Liam?" Every cell in Ariana's body screamed run, but there was nowhere to go, no more lies that would work. "A friend's child," she managed. "I help babysit sometimes." "Try again." "That's the truth." "No, it's not." Damon was inches away now, his presence overwhelming. "I hired an investigator, Ariana, yesterday, and the report should arrive any minute now." The room spun. "You what?" "You've been hiding something since day one, avoiding questions, taking secret calls, lying about everything." His gray eyes bored into hers. "I don't like mysteries in my business arrangements." "You had no right." "I had every right. You work for me now." Ariana's phone buzzed again. Another text from Rachel. "He's asking for you again. This is hard, Ariana." Damon's phone lit up at the same moment. He glanced at the screen and Ariana watched his entire face change. Watched shock, then something harder, colder, take over his expression. He turned the phone toward her. It was a photo of Liam, her beautiful boy with his gray eyes and stubborn chin, playing in their tiny living room. And the caption from his investigator: "Subject has a 2-year-old son. Name Liam Vale, father unknown." Damon's voice was lethal. "Unknown." Ariana couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. The moment she'd been dreading for 3 years had arrived, and she had no defense, no explanation that wouldn't sound like betrayal. "Those are my eyes," Damon said quietly, dangerously. "That child has my eyes, Ariana." "Damon." "You hid my child." Each word was ice. "You hid my son from me for 3 years. You left me, you called me a mistake. I didn't know you were pregnant." Would it have mattered? Tears streamed down her face now. Would you have wanted him, or would he have been another mistake you needed to fix? Damon stared at her like she was a stranger, like she was something vile. "This fake relationship is over," he said flatly. "Our next arrangement is permanent." "What are you talking about?" "We're getting married, Ariana, legally, immediately." His smile was sharp. "And if you refuse, I'll take Liam from you. I have lawyers who specialize in custody battles. I have money, power, resources you can't imagine. I will destroy you in court and take my son." "You can't." "Can I?" He stepped closer, his fury controlled but devastating. "You hid my child, denied me 3 years of his life. No judge will side with you." Ariana's knees buckled. This was her nightmare, the reason she'd run, the reason she'd lied. "I won't let you take him," she whispered. "Then you'll marry me." Damon pulled out his phone, already typing. "My lawyers will draw up a contract. You move into my penthouse. I get joint custody. We maintain the facade for my merger. And when it's done," his eyes were merciless, "we'll see if you deserve to keep my son at all." The contract arrived at midnight. Ariana sat in her tiny apartment, Liam sleeping peacefully in the next room, unaware that his entire world was about to shatter. She fled the Hamptons estate hours ago, taken a car service she couldn't afford, and now stared at the 50-page document Damon's lawyers had sent. Marriage contract, terms and conditions. Her hands shook as she read. She would move into Damon's penthouse within 48 hours. Joint custody effective immediately. All major decisions regarding Liam required mutual consent. She would continue the girlfriend facade until the merger completed in 3 months. After that, they would reassess the marriage. And buried on page 37, in legal language that made her stomach turn, if she violated any term, Damon would pursue full custody with all available resources. It was a cage dressed as a contract, a prison with her son as collateral. "What are you reading, Mama?" Ariana jumped. Liam stood in the doorway, his dark curls messy from sleep, his gray eyes Damon's eyes confused. "Just work stuff, baby. You should be sleeping." "Bad dream," he patted over, climbing into her lap. "Mama's sad." "No, sweetheart, Mama's fine." "Liar." He touched her wet cheek where tears had fallen without her noticing. "Mama crying." She held him close, breathing in his innocent scent. How could she explain that everything was about to change? That a stranger, his father, was about to invade their carefully built life? "Baby, I need to tell you something important." "Kay." "Remember how some kids have daddies who live with them?" Liam nodded solemnly. "Tommy at Park has daddy." "Well, you have a daddy too, and he wants to meet you." "I have daddy," wonder filled his voice. "Where he been?" How did she answer that? "Your father didn't know you existed because I ran away. Your father called me a mistake and broke my heart. He was working very far away, but now he's back and he wants to know you." "He nice?" Ariana's throat closed. "I don't know, baby, I hope so." "Mama know him." "I do." "Then he nice." Liam's logic was simple, trusting. "Mama only know nice people." If only that were true. The next morning, Damon's assistant called. "Mr. Cade will collect you and Liam at 10 a.m. Please have your belongings ready." "I haven't signed the contract." "Mr. Cade anticipates you will. He's already prepared Liam's room." The presumption infuriated her. "Tell Mr. Cade that I need more time." "You have until 10 a.m. After that, his lawyers file for emergency custody. Your choice, Ms. Vale." The line went dead. Ariana stared at her phone, rage and helplessness warring inside her. This was how Damon operated: calculated threats, impossible deadlines, no room for negotiation. She had 2 hours to pack their lives into suitcases and surrender. Mina appeared at 9:30, her face pale. "Is it true? You're moving in with him?" "I don't have a choice." "There's always a choice, Ari." "Not when the alternative is losing Liam." Ariana threw clothes into a bag with shaking hands. "Damon has unlimited resources. If this goes to court, I'll lose. This way, at least I'm still Liam's mother." "You're his prisoner." "I'm surviving like always." Mina grabbed her hands, forcing Ariana to stop packing. "What happened 3 years ago? Why did you run from him?" Ariana's eyes burned. "Because I was stupid enough to believe he cared. We met at a charity event. He was different that night. Charming, attentive, like I was the only woman in the room. We talked for hours about everything: art, dreams, life. It felt magical. And then we spent the night together and it was perfect. He told me I was special, that he wanted to see me again. I believed him." Her voice cracked. I woke up alone with a note that said this was a mistake. No explanation, no phone number, just gone. Oh, honey. 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. I tried to find him, but Damon Cade doesn't exist in normal databases. By the time I tracked down his office, I'd already convinced myself he didn't want me. Why would he want our baby? So you disappeared. I protected Liam from rejection, from a father who'd see him as an obligation. Ariana wiped her eyes. I gave him a life full of love instead of money and cold indifference. And now Damon's taking everything. At exactly 10 a.m., a black SUV pulled up outside. Damon emerged, and Ariana's breath caught despite everything. He wore dark jeans and a gray sweater that matched his eyes, casual but still radiating power and wealth. He looked up at her window, and even from 3 stories up, she felt the intensity of his gaze. "Come on, baby," she picked up Liam. "Time to meet your daddy." Liam clutched her neck as they descended. When they emerged onto the street, Damon was waiting, his expression unreadable. Father and son stared at each other for the first time. Liam broke the silence. "You my daddy?" Damon's carefully controlled mask cracked. "Yes, I'm your father." "You tall?" A surprised laugh escaped Damon. "You're pretty tall yourself." "I too," Liam held up fingers proudly. "How old you?" 29. "That very old." This time Damon's smile reached his eyes just for a moment. "I suppose it is." Ariana watched them, her heart breaking and healing simultaneously. Whatever Damon was, cold, controlling, ruthless, he looked at Liam like he was seeing a miracle. "We should go," Damon said, his walls slamming back into place. "The driver will handle your bags." Inside the SUV, Liam peppered Damon with questions. "Where we going? You have toys. Mama says you've been far away. Where you been?" Damon answered each question with surprising patience, though his eyes kept flicking to Ariana, accusation clear in his gaze. "You stole this from me," his look said. 3 years of questions, 3 years of firsts." She looked away, guilt and anger tangled too tight to separate. The penthouse was obscene. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Central Park, furniture that probably cost more than her entire apartment building, art that belonged in museums, and a child's room that made her breath catch. It was perfect, painted in soft blues and greens, filled with toys and books and a bed shaped like a race car. Someone, Damon or his staff, had created a dream room overnight. "Whoa," Liam ran inside, spinning in circles. "This all mine." "All yours," Damon confirmed. "Do you like cars?" "Love cars, Mama. Look, I have race car bed." What? Ariana forced a smile. "I see, baby, it's wonderful." But it hurt. It hurt that Damon could provide this space, this luxury, this instant childhood fantasy, when she'd worked so hard just to keep Liam fed and safe. Money didn't make someone a good parent. Love did. "Your room is across the hall," Damon told Ariana coolly. "We need to discuss arrangements." In his home office, more windows, more expensive everything, Damon closed the door and turned on her with barely controlled fury. 3 years, he said quietly, dangerously. "You stole 3 years from me. You left me. I didn't know you were pregnant." "Would it have changed anything?" Ariana's voice rose. "You called me a mistake. You disappeared without explanation. What was I supposed to think?" "You were supposed to tell me." Damon slammed his hand on the desk. "You were supposed to give me the choice." "You already made your choice when you left." "I left because—" He stopped abruptly, jaw clenched tight. "Because what?" "Because I wasn't worth staying for." "Because I'm not capable of what you wanted." The admission came out harsh. "That night was supposed to be meaningless, a distraction, but you—" His eyes burned into hers. "You made me feel things I don't feel, want things I don't want, and that terrified me." Ariana's anger faltered. "So you ran." So I protected us both from inevitable disaster. Damon's laugh was bitter. Clearly, that worked brilliantly. If you didn't want complications, you should have been more careful. I was careful. We used protection every time. Apparently not careful enough. She crossed her arms. Congratulations, you have a complication named Liam. He's not a complication, he's my son. Damon's voice turned lethal. And you will never keep him from me again. Do you understand? I understand you're blackmailing me into marriage. I'm protecting my rights as a father. You're punishing me for protecting our son from rejection. From rejection, Damon moved closer, his presence overwhelming. You think I would have rejected him, my own child? I think you rejected me pretty effectively. The words hung between them, raw, honest, devastating. That was different, Damon said finally. How was that different? Because you were, he stopped again, frustration clear. It doesn't matter. What matters is Liam and making sure you never run again. Hence the contract. Hence the contract. His gray eyes were cold again. Sign it, Ariana, tonight, or tomorrow my lawyers file for custody. You'd really take him from me. Try me. She believed him. Damon Cade didn't make empty threats. Fine, I'll sign, but I have conditions too. You're not in a position to negotiate. Liam's routine stays the same. His bedtime, his meals, his activities. You don't get to disrupt his entire life because you're rich and angry. Agreed. I continue working on my designs. You don't control my career. As long as you fulfill your obligations as my wife. Agreed. And when this merger is done, when you don't need me for appearances anymore, her voice shook. You don't take him from me. We share custody properly, like adults. Damon studied her for a long moment. If you prove you're capable of putting his needs first, we'll discuss arrangements. If I prove, rage flooded her. I've been putting his needs first for 3 years while you knew nothing. I've sacrificed everything for him. You've been playing single mother without giving me a chance. That ends now. He pulled out the contract. Sign, Ariana, or lose him completely. Her hand shook as she picked up the pen. This was wrong, all of it. But she signed anyway, her signature sealing her fate. Excellent, Damon took the contract. The lawyers will file the marriage license tomorrow. We'll have a private ceremony Friday. Friday, that's 4 days. Which should be plenty of time to prepare. My mother will want to meet you first. Ariana's stomach dropped. Your mother. Did you think I didn't have family? That I materialized from thin air like some corporate demon? His smile was sharp. My mother is very involved in my life, and she'll want to meet her grandson. Damon, we can't just spring this on her. We're not springing anything. I called her this morning. She's coming for dinner tomorrow night. Tomorrow, panic clawed up Ariana's throat. I need time to prepare Liam too. To what? Coach him on what to say, teach him to hide who he is. Damon's voice turned cutting. You've been hiding him for 3 years. No more hiding. Tomorrow my family meets my son, and you'll play the devoted fiancé convincingly, or I promise you'll regret it. Before Ariana could respond, a crash came from Liam's room. They both ran. Liam stood surrounded by broken toy pieces, his face crumpling. I broke it. Sorry, I didn't mean. It's okay, sweetheart. Ariana swept him into her arms. Accidents happen. I fix it. Tears streamed down his face. We'll get a new one, Damon said, kneeling beside them. It's just a toy. But I broke it on first day, Liam sobbed. Now Daddy think I bad. Hey, Damon's voice softened. I don't think you're bad. Toys break. That's what they do. Really? Really? Want to know a secret? Damon leaned closer. I broke lots of toys when I was little. My mom says I was very good at breaking things. Liam's tears slowed. You broke toys too. Constantly, drove her crazy. A watery smile appeared. We both breakers. The best breakers. Damon ruffled Liam's hair, and Ariana saw something in his expression: tenderness, wonder, fear. He was falling in love with his son already, and that terrified her more than his threats ever could. Because if Damon loved Liam, he'd fight even harder to take him away. That night, after Liam finally fell asleep in his new race car bed, Ariana stood at her window staring at the city below. So many lights, so many people living their ordinary lives while hers imploded. A knock on her door made her turn. Damon stood in the doorway, still dressed, a tumbler of whiskey in his hand. He's asleep. Finally, everything's new and overwhelming. For all of us, Damon entered without invitation, moving to stand beside her at the window. I didn't expect this. Neither did I. I meant, he paused, I didn't expect to feel this way about him. What way? Like I'd burned the world down to protect him. Damon's voice was rough. Like every moment I've missed with him is a wound that won't heal. Ariana's eyes burned. I'm sorry for all of it. Are you, or are you just sorry you got caught? The accusation stung. I was protecting him from the pain I felt, from waking up alone and realizing I meant nothing. You meant, Damon stopped, jaw tight. That night wasn't supposed to mean anything. But it did. To me, it meant everything. Which is exactly why I left. He drained his whiskey. I don't do relationships, Ariana. I don't do feelings or attachments or any of the things people like you need. I'm good at business, at strategy, at keeping things simple and transactional. Then why force this marriage? Because Liam deserves both parents, because I won't be cut out of his life. His gray eyes met hers, and because I don't trust you not to run again. I won't run. You already did once. I was scared and alone and 20 years old. Her voice cracked. You destroyed me, Damon. One perfect night followed by complete abandonment. I couldn't, she stopped, composing herself. I couldn't let you do that to our son. So you did it to me instead. The truth of that hit hard. I'm sorry, she whispered, for taking those years, for not trying harder to find you, for everything. Damon was quiet for a long moment. Then, my mother will ask questions tomorrow about how we met, about our relationship, about why I never mentioned you. What should I say? The truth, that we met 3 years ago, lost touch, reconnected recently, that we're making it work for Liam's sake. His expression hardened. But she cannot know this is a contract. She needs to believe we're building something real. More lies. Welcome to my world. He moved toward the door, then paused. Ariana, don't make me regret giving you this chance. Don't make me take him from you. Is that a threat? It's a promise. Hurt my son, hide him from me again, try to run, and I will destroy you so completely you'll wish you never met me. He left and Ariana sank onto her bed, her whole body shaking. That's it for the first part, fam. If you enjoyed this roller coaster, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement pushes the story further and keeps the heat coming. Turn on notifications so you don't miss part 2, it's loading, and trust me, it'll be worth every second. Stay tuned, because the real storm is only beginning.